On August 19, 2024, South Africa's political landscape was rocked by a startling announcement. Floyd Shivambu, a founder member and deputy president of the Economic Freedom Fighters, took to social media to reveal his resignation from the party. But this was no ordinary exit. It was, as Shivambu described, a revolutionary act. What does this mean for the EFF and the future of South African politics? Let's dive in. Welcome to Inkari. It's time, where we break down the most critical developments shaping our world. Today we focus on Floyd Shivambu's resignation from the EFF, a move that has sent shockwaves across the political spectrum. As rumors swell and speculation mounts, Shivambu has made it clear his departure is about more than just leaving a party. It's about uniting progressive forces for a revolutionary change. Shivambu's resignation comes at a time of significant upheaval within the EFF. Just days after Mzwanele Manyi, another prominent figure, left the party, Shivambu's exit raises serious questions about the internal dynamics of the EFF and the leadership of Julius Malema. But Shivambu didn't just walk away, he left with a purpose. In his post, Shivambu invoked the spirit of Karl Marx, emphasizing that addressing every rumor would be a waste of time. Instead, he focuses on a broader vision, the unification of progressive forces. But what does that mean? And who are these forces? Shivambu's mention of progressive forces hints at a possible political realignment. Could we be witnessing the emergence of a new coalition? One that challenges not just the EFF, but the ANC as well. With the MK party led by former President Jacob Zuma gaining traction, Shivambu's move might be more than just a personal decision. It could be the start of a new political chapter in South Africa.
Greetings, Comrade President. The chairperson of Ward 44, Johannesburg, has informed me that my membership of the EFF has lapsed. And I said, please be informed that I will not renew my membership of the EFF in Ward 44, which is one of the best performing wards in Johannesburg region. I also request to resign my position as Member of Parliament and all positions in the EFF. I will only do so after receiving a go-ahead from the organization, because it is the EFF that deployed me to Parliament.
There will be many others who are going to leave the EFF because they've got their loyalty and support to the Deputy President. So fighters on the ground should be prepared for more people to follow. And this should not serve as a point of collapse for the EFF. This is a testing moment. The organization that has lived beyond 10 years has never been through this testing moment. The EFF will have to pass this test, or it will have to die.
For the EFF, Shivambu's departure is a significant blow. As a key architect of the party's strategy and vision, his exit leaves a void that won't be easily filled. The party now faces an existential challenge. Can it maintain its unity and influence without one of its founding members?
We salute the loyal and brave and dedicated ground forces of the EFF, to whom this organization of the poor and the dejected, masses of our people, belongs. We salute you, the true revolutionaries, who have dedicated your lives, your sweat and your blood to the liberation of our people, and have sworn never to betray the generational mission of freedom in favor of personal advancement. Fellow fighters, I stand before you as a proud president who gave an instruction in the early hours of this morning that all ground forces of the EFF must be gathered in Soweto by 6 o'clock. This call was made deliberately to test if the forces on the ground are intact and they can respond within 24 hours. I stand before you re-energized by your energy, inspired by your commitment, your fearless character, and the courage to take on the enemy without thinking twice in the name of the economic freedom in our lifetime. I can proudly say today to those who said I'm left alone, that I'm not alone. The ground forces are here to continue the battle for economic freedom in our lifetime. I stand before you as a leader that is confident of the future, because we know that the young people of the EFF, led by the president of the Student Command, are ready to take the baton from us and continue with the struggle for economic freedom.
Julius Malema, the EFF's charismatic leader, is now tasked with keeping the party together in the face of these defections. But with Shivambu and Manyi gone, is the EFF's foundation starting to crack? And if the MK party continues to gain momentum, could we see more high-profile exit from the EFF?
We are telling you silently that as the movement recovers from a difficult elections and is surrounded by vultures, they do not choose you. They are choosing what looks like greener pastures. Many of them are opportunistic because they want to see whether they will emerge in the upcoming Third National People's Assembly before they decide whether they will remain in the EFF or not. Many of them are using the Third National People's Assembly as a threat that if they do not get elected or are not part of the leadership discussions leading up to the conference, then they will leave and join MKP. We must never be blackmailed by those who want to threaten us with leaving after the Third National People's Assembly. I want to say to them, leave now. Leave now so that we can know how many soldiers we have in this struggle to liberate our people. You must leave today, because nothing is going to change between now and December. Nothing is going to change now and in the future. The future looks bright because we determine it today. We are here to make our destiny for how the future looks like tomorrow. Leave now. We have no reason to beg anyone. If you want to leave, leave now and leave us alone. Even if we are alone, we'll always continue to speak truth to power. It's very painful to count the soldiers you don't have. Fellow fighters, none of you should allow anyone to bargain their loyalty for position. Anyone who bargains their loyalty in exchange for a position or deployment is an enemy agent who must be identified and isolated from our movement.
As I greet and sit down, President, I just want to confirm to you that I've renewed my membership. I'm a member of the EFF. When my chairperson called me and said, you have not renewed your membership, I said, I'm going to renew my membership because I joined the EFF. I didn't join anyone, I joined the EFF. Commander-in-Chief, even in the Olympics, President, when the 100-meter sprinters are approaching the track, they don't greet each other. They are not friends with each other. They don't hug each other. They focus on the race. We are not insulting anyone. We are not belittling anyone. We are focusing on our race. If they want us, they will find us at the finish line. If they want us, they will find us at the end of the race. Amanda! Away two! Away with betrayals! Away! Away with betrayals! Away!
Floyd Shivambu's resignation is more than just the departure of a senior leader. It's a signal that South Africa's political landscape is on the brink of significant change. Whether this leads to a new coalition, a realignment of leftist forces, or further fragmentation of the political left remains to be seen. What is clear, though, is that Shivambu's revolutionary act has set the stage for a dramatic shift in the month to come.
So whenever political events happen, we always have the obligation to interpret them for what they mean for the system. So opposition politics in South Africa have seen a shaking, and we weren't sure after the first press briefing as to whether what one of the options that was being offered in terms of what's happening, the official line from Floyd Shivambu, that this was an exercise in some grand coordination of the left in South Africa. We weren't sure yet as to whether that was the case, or Floyd was leaving because of some internal strife, or the VBS matter, or the conference politics of the EFF going into its conference later this year. What Julius Malema did yesterday was to help us and narrow down the potential explanation as to what's happening in the EFF to strife. And I'm saying that it's two things that I'm saying. What he did yesterday was to help us to narrow down what are the dynamics that have caused Floyd to leave. One, him speaking of Floyd's departure in the manner that he did, using the language of betrayal, using the language of cowards, suggests that there was disagreement and the fallout that made Floyd to leave. The second issue, him consolidating the powers, and not only that, making a statement like, we want to rid the organization of everything that looks like the former deputy president, is confirming once again that there is strife here, and there's the departure is not some exercise in grand strategy, which is meant to consolidate the left, but an EFF that is facing a critical moment ahead of its third People's Assembly, which is threatening the soul of the party. So any organization does have factions and alliances which are built around the personalities of particular politicians or their ideological preferences. The EFF was not going to be unique in that. What Julius Malema's lack of tolerance, for me, in him challenging others to leave, is attempting to create, in fact, he may be fomenting the problems by making factions to be bigger than what they should be. It's not a foregone conclusion that the fact that there were people that were supporting Floyd Shivambu, that they themselves had regarded that support to be bigger than their loyalty to the organization. But Malema poking them in the eye in the manner that he did, he's attempting to do that inadvertently. In his mind, he's trying to protect the organization, but he could achieve quite the opposite. People are free in an organization to rally behind particular leaders, as long as that rallying behind those leaders didn't become bigger than the organization itself. But Malema doesn't seem to be making a difference. He seems to be of the view that if there are people who supported the former deputy president and now he's no longer there, necessarily that means those people are no longer loyal to the EFF, which is very destructive to his agenda. So it's one of the things that I thought while I was still in that mentality that this is possibly some grand strategy. It's one of the things that I thought is a strategy that he's pursuing so that he can deflect attention away from the party. But how aggrieved Julius Malema is about the departure, how he frames it as part of a factional bloc that is pro the former deputy president and is not about the party or its interests or its continued survival, suggests to me that the biggest issue that's driving the departure is no strategic considerations about MK Party, no considerations about VBS and deflecting attention, but everything to do with the grievances that are personal between the two of them. And to your point about the brotherliness, it's almost like a duplicitous characterization of the relationship by Julius Malema, because on several instances he's publicly humiliated Floyd Shivambu, and whether it be taking swipes at him and suggestions that he had no right to contest for office, or in reducing him to a position not even that of a deputy president by public behavior and body language. I mean, I have in mind yesterday one of the photos that were going around, videos that were going around, is him pushing Floyd Shivambu's hand away from King Willekaya Dalindyebo in some public platform, which people were using to say, this guy has been humiliating Floyd Shivambu. So on one level, he feels betrayed. On another, he thinks that it was okay to humiliate. Yeah. It's typical narcissistic behavior, if you ask me.
Floyd, there are cameras here, please. I'll be speaking here and you'll be reading a newspaper.
What do you think this means for the future of the EFF? Will Shivambu's exit lead to a stronger leftist coalition? Or will it further divide the political landscape? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more in-depth analysis on the issues that matters most. Thank you for watching, and take care.